Hold on. I don't see us getting live.
I'm holding.
Hold on!
I'm holding.
Okay,
really
there we
hope that
go.
was
There we go. We live.
We're live?
We're live. Okay, somebody do the intro. I don't remember the intro.
Oh,
I forgot as well.
I thought it goes along like the table. Wait, oh no, the table's different now. Okay, hello guys, welcome to the What the Fuck podcast. What the fuck podcast? That's how it's like. That's how it's like. Anyways, I'm Christian, aka the Bard 6.
Oh shit, I forgot to add the names. I am Tomoyo, Seria, aka Exodia, created the reviews, hashtag shit, but what up, that's me. Oh! Yeah, that's me.
Cool story, bro.
Introduce yourself, damn it.
Hi, I'm Dregdor.
Yeah.
I'm the mentally fucked up one.
It says untitled broadcast. What the F, dude?
What do you mean it's titled? Wait,
Okay,
update
no, might
information?
just be
Maybe?
wrong.
Let me just update.
We are
I don't
completely
know.
prepared.
We are not
We're gonna
prepared.
have to figure this out.
We are not prepared.
Oh boy. Oh,
Okay,
boy.
so what are we gonna be talking about?
You guys
Penis.
brought some topics, right?
Yeah, the bar is now hosting. Oh, sweet, you're hosting stream. All right.
Thank you, the Bard 6, for hosting.
Okay, first
Are
of
we,
all,
are we doing that? Are we interacting with this chat and the
No.
stream? So we're like, oh yeah.
not
okay,
as much.
ignore it.
Okay, so I can start off with the Assassin's Creed. I want to talk about the Assassin's Creed.
Nobody fucking cares. We're gonna start talking now.
No, fuck you. I'm gonna start talking about Assassin's Creed. Okay, here I go. So, the thing is that I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan. I love Assassin's Creed. I played every single game except for the newest one. I haven't played that one yet. I like the whole like thing where people say the last two like new Assassin's Creed aren't even Assassin's Creed related and stuff. So like how people judge saying, "Oh, this shouldn't even be called Assassin's Creed because you don't have like the hidden blade or like you don't have the eagle eye or there's just nothing involving Assassin's Creed." And my thoughts on that is that you don't know shit. So like they shouldn't even fucking say anything. Yeah. So here's a little history because Assassin's Creed is full of history. So
Literally.
the last two Assassin's Creeds are technically the beginning of Assassin's Creed. So the new one, what's the name of the new one? I don't know the name. No,
Odyssey.
is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It is.
The
Okay.
Greek one?
Yeah. So, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, is like one of like that one. In my opinion, it's not honestly even like it has nothing to do with the assassins. Like the assassins are not even a thing there yet. That game is just introducing you the weapons that you see on the other Assassin's Creed, which is the Apple of Eden, the Book of I don't know what, and the Staff of something. And then on the Odyssey one, you can see the sword. So that game honestly has nothing to do with assassins. That game is honestly just like a bunch of weapons that involved Assassin's Creed, but it's like its own little different story, how everything, started and stuff with the gods and whatever, but it has nothing to do with legit any Assassin's Creed character story. From there, you move on with Assassin's Creed Origins. The one with the pyramids and stuff. That one's actually pretty good in my opinion. Even though you don't have the eagle eye, you legit have a fucking eagle, which is great. I named it Tulio, by the way. So that Assassin's Creed is pretty great because
I already had a name.
well, fuck you, okay? I'm giving it my own name, motherfucker. So that Assassin's Creed is pretty cool because that's how you learn how the Assassin's Creed name, like the assassins, are created. At first, they were just trying to protect others, like they were like a police kind of thing, like a secret police type. And that assassin is how the whole Assassin's Creed Brotherhood came to be and stuff. And then I believe from there you move to Altair, which that goes to the first Assassin's Creed game ever shown to us, with Altair. And then from Altair you go to Ezio Auditore, and then from Ezio I think you go... I don't remember where you go on to. But anyways, so the point of this is that I think Assassin's Creed is one of those ongoing games with history that I love because they're not in order. I like that each character, each assassin has their own story. Ezio, to me, it's like my child. Like, I saw him grow up. Like, I hold him in my arms in the game. He was such a baby, and then I see him, grow up. Oh my god, it's such an emotional thing.
I don't understand anything you're saying.
Okay, sorry. So, I was saying that Assassin's Creed to me is such an emotional, game, especially when it comes to Ezio, because you start off with Ezio, the mom is giving birth to Ezio, and you legit hold Ezio in your hands, you clean him and stuff, and then you see him grow up, how he's, kind of childish a little bit, and he runs around, and I think his character development and just his game was pretty good. The fact that they still kept the same skill powers from Altair made it pretty cool, and the fact that he could see Altair was pretty cool. And Desmond, those of you guys that don't know any of the names I'm mentioning, Desmond, fuck you too. Desmond is the ancestor of these characters, and yeah, and
modern time.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And I just really love the character design and the story behind Ezio, all the stuff he went through and stuff. And then if you look at all their characters, they all have their unique stuff. Like the twins, they're more trying to rebel, they're trying to gain followers, to rebel and finding this book, and I think having twin characters is pretty cool because you get to choose who you want to play depending on what section of the story you're on. And then you have the other one, I think is the Rebellion of France. I don't remember what's the name of the game in general, but that one's pretty cool because it was a cute Romeo and Juliet story.
God, I hate that fucking story.
You know what? Fuck you, okay? I like that story. It's romantic.
Romeo and Juliet. It's not romantic at all. Romeo and Juliet is fucking stupid.
You're stupid. You look
Sorry,
stupid
that's
right
emotional to me.
now.
Fuck that story.
Well, fuck you, okay? And then, the story of, what's it called? The Egyptian one is pretty cool too because you get to, experience what it's like not, having the hidden blade and not having the eagle eye, which a lot of people bitched about not having the eagle eye anymore, which I actually agree. But once you realize the newest Assassin's Creeds are technically the beginning of Assassin's Creed, it all makes sense. But I still hope that whenever they go back, you are still able to have the eagle eye where you can, press and see certain things. And I hope the game developers haven't forgot about that because that's one of the coolest things about Assassin's Creed. I would spend so much hours playing Assassin's Creed, clearing everything. The online game of Assassin's Creed was actually fun. I hope they either bring that back or make it better because I know there's some people that didn't like it. So, I don't know. I liked it.
You would.
Yeah, I'm very biased. Like,
You like anything Assassin's Creed?
I like everything. Yes, everything. I am a fan. I have it. Like, I have the collectibles. Well, some of them, not all of them. I have the Hidden Blade. I have the Assassin's Creed flag from Assassin's Creed 3. And I have so many things. Oh, there's another Assassin's Creed that I want to talk about real quick, actually. A lot of people don't know about this Assassin's Creed, but there's this Assassin's Creed Rogue. I think, like, the Assassin's Creed Rogue is pretty cool because, unlike Black Flag, I'll talk about Black Flag here in a bit.
That's
But
my favorite one.
shut the
Yeah,
fuck
the
up.
best one.
Shut the fuck up, guys. You can't talk about this. Okay, so
We're going to.
Yeah, Black Flag is really my favorite one. Period.
Black
The only
Flag is
good
shit,
one.
and it's good, and here's why, though.
It's not
Black
Assassin's
Flag-
Creed.
No. It is. But let me show you why I don't like it. Black Flag, it's like, what was the point of me playing this? That's how it makes me feel. Like, as an Assassin's Creed fan, okay, like, this guy, like, the person, I remember what was his name, but this guy comes across an Assassin's Creed member, okay, takes his role, like, he still, like, his outfit, and, you know, and then he finds out about the Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
He follows along, and he's actually the great father of Connor from Assassin's Creed 3. So this guy finds the Assassin's Creed, goes along, learns what they're doing. He doesn't, like, he then eventually meets the Templars. He sees what they're doing. He wants to be with them now, so he leaves the Assassin's Creed and goes to the Templars. And then he doesn't like that anymore, and then he, like, gets off the Templars, and he's just, like, there. So he's like, oh, you know what? Like, he's not even an assassin. He's not even a Templar. Like, that's the thing that triggers me the most. Like, he's not either or, and he didn't pick either or. He's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a little bit taste of this, and I'm gonna take a little taste of that. And you know what? I'm gone. I don't care about this. So I was like, what the fuck? So here's my take. The story was fucking retarded. I don't like the story whatsoever. Now, the game itself, like, the fact that you had a bow and you could go into the water, that was pretty cool. But then, Assassin's Creed Origins, like, made it better, in my opinion. Like, Assassin's Creed Origins made Black Flag, like, to me, look like, oh, well, I mean, this is better because he is an assassin, and there's the whole thing about going underwater, fighting alligators, you fight a fucking snake. Like, this is better now. So, that's why I don't like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, because you're right, you're not an assassin, and I like the whole Assassin's Creed. I don't want to play a game where you just jump into assassin and not assassin, and then Templar, and then not a Templar, and then he's just like, what was the point of me playing this if he's neither? That's, like, just my take on Black Flag. Unlike Assassin's Creed, I just mentioned it a bit ago. Assassin's Creed
Liberation?
Rogue.
Wait, did
Rogue.
you say Liberation? Yeah, Rogue.
Assassin's Creed Rogue. Now, that assassin, at first I was like, I don't want to play this. He's not an assassin. But actually, it's pretty cool because he's an assassin, and after a while, he just doesn't like how the assassins are, you know, like, how they're dealing with the whole Apple of Eden and all that. And he doesn't want to be with them because he thinks that they're going to hurt people. So he actually goes to a different side. Like, he goes to the Templars, and he stays as a Templar, and he's like, this is what I want to be. And actually, the guy from that game, you see him killing the father of the assassin from the one in France with the French rebellion. And he kills the father of that assassin, which I think that's cool because everything's connected. But I do have to give credit to the Black Flag because he just happens to be the great father of Connor from Assassin's Creed 3. But that's it. Like, that's it. End of that. And yeah, I don't know. I think Black Flag, to me, it's just like, yeah, I guess it's cool that they introduced the whole boat and all that, but it lagged from like story and stuff. But yeah, now I can breathe. Now you guys could give your opinion.
History is boring, and Assassin's Creed is like a history game, and it's boring. I hate history, and then it's like, oh yeah, Assassin's Creed is in history. It sounds fucking awful, dude. I already don't want to sit in the classroom and like learn about all these famous people. I don't care. And then Assassin's Creed's like, yeah, what if you could like talk to them though? And I'm like, that sounds worse. I don't want to talk to them either. Are they gonna say, hey, I made the light bulb. Isn't that cool? Yeah, okay, cool. I get the idea. You're fucking Benjamin Franklin. Let me play a fun game. I don't really find them that fun, in my opinion, though.
Yeah.
They're all right games. They're not offensive. They're just the gameplay's bottom of the barrel. Hold a button and do stuff and watch cool animations, but it's not really. I played 2, I liked it. Then I played Black Flag, and I was like, oh, this is good. And then I played Black Flag for like 30 more minutes, and I was like, okay, I'm bored now. I'm gonna play a game with actual gameplay. And then I did that. And I haven't played a fucking Assassin's Creed since. Oh wait, no. I played one on the PS Vita, and I think I actually finished it. Because the good thing about Assassin's Creed is it takes no brain cells to play, so that's my favorite part. Is I can play like a bunch of games where it's like interesting, in-depth characters or good gameplay that like takes tactility. And then I can be like, okay, whew, that was really tough. And then I put on Assassin's Creed and I press a button and I do a bunch of cool stuff. I'm like, oh, this is easy. This is fun.
There's some challenges that don't make it easy, like. I agree with you that you just press buttons and boom, like you can kill them and stuff, and you just can move on with the story. But like it depends on how each person plays. Because when I play that game, like just like the first like Assassin's Creed, not the recent ones, like just the first ones. So like with Altair and Ezio's stories, I think. It wasn't as easy as just like going up and killing everyone, because some of the challenges and some of the secret achievements and non-secret achievements were like kill this person without getting caught, or like kill this person with poison, or kill this person like this. And honestly, like there were some parts that were tricky that you couldn't do certain things and you were like, fuck. So like there were times that I had to like do the mission over and over in order to get it right and do it exactly how it was. And then like once you were like done with certain things, you had to find certain items. So like there's like the secret, I don't know, like there was like this secret like outfit that was like a wolf thing, and like you had to like find certain things in general that were secret. And I thought that was like, to me that was a challenge, especially because back then I didn't used to play a lot of online games. It was always like myself, and like that's it. Like I didn't used to play shooters or anything because I had no one to play with. So those games that it's just like you play them by yourself and no one is there, and like back then I didn't stream either. So like I always had like a ton of fun, like putting a lot of my time into not just Assassin's Creed, like many other games too, and then like do every little thing, like legit every little thing. Now it's hard for me to do that when all I play is online games. So I guess yeah, you're right. It's just easy just to go to Assassin's Creed. You just press a lot of buttons and boom, like you get things done. If you wanna like play it like that too.
Yeah, that's how I play them. I'm not looking for secrets and stuff.
It's also very story driven. So the ones with a good engaging story are good. You know what I mean? Because yeah, the gameplay at the base level, it is pretty basic, I'll say. You know, kind of like the Batman Arkham series. It's pretty basic, but it's very story driven, so that you just kind of want to see the next thing that's going to happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. And there's a lot of, especially in the first one, there's a lot of like twists and turns that it was just fascinating. You know, kind of as they've gone on, I feel like they've gotten away from a lot of the twists. But the first especially the first one. Oh my god, it blew my mind. Like just the way everything was laid out and the way they set it up, it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like I would do anything to go back and be able to play a game like that, you know?
Yeah, for the first time.
Yeah. Or it's kind of like in Modern Warfare 2, right? When the general what's his nuts fucking betrays you, killing whoever those Ghost and I forget who else it was. Like it just it blows your fucking mind, you know? And that is extremely rare in video games. And I'd love to see more of it personally. Like, even if it takes several fucking, like, for example, The Division, right? Let's say Division 3 comes out in 10 years and it turns out that the government's bad, the Division is being just, you know, used and they're expendable, and then the government turns around to try to kill all the Division agents.
That'll be good.
That'd be
I'll
cool,
be like,
right?
shit, mind blown.
Like,
My heart.
And then the first Division where there's that one guy who goes rogue, it just sort of all would piece together and be a very engaging and interesting story. But it also because you got to give it time to become like
established.
Yeah, and interested, engaged in the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't really care for the story in The Division. I just like looting and shooting, honestly.
Yeah, the story's all right. I'll give it that. Like
it's mediocre.
It's all right.
I think the first one's even worse, but this one's better. I'll be honest. This is what a lot of games do, especially like Destiny and The Division do. Is they're like, you are so unique, and you know you guys are so strong and everything, and it like tries to give you some really big world type objective. So it's like, oh, you gotta save this whole city. But I prefer games, especially with the Destiny 2. They did this where it's like they bake it down. They're like, okay, instead of trying to be like, oh, you guys are all that saves the city, in between you have like these characters that you're trying to help with what they're going through, and I think that's a lot better. Individual stories are a lot more interesting than like an overarching world type objective to work towards.
I agree, which is I think something that Assassin's Creed actually did fairly well. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, especially when you're, what was it, Miles, I think his name was. Like you are saving the world, you know. And fuck it, I'm gonna spoil it because you haven't fucking played the original ones. Fuck you by now. Like, get your life together. But where he like basically sacrifices himself to save the world, like it was a very good, like, at a personal level. Like, yeah, he's saving the world, but it wasn't really so much about that as it was about him. You know what I mean? Where like the Division, for example, like back in the Division 1, or even if they make an expansion or something where you're not a Division agent, you're just some dude out there who's trying to survive in the Dark Zone.
Yeah.
You know, like you got to choose, are you going to try to work with the JTF? Are you going to be a rioter? Are you going to join a gang? That would be really cool to just make it about interpersonal relationships, how that person is trying to survive.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
And I thought that Assassin's Creed played that well, where it's about the people. Like, I became very engaged in Ezio because, like, at a personal level, I care about that guy, even though he's completely fucking made up, by the way. Like, I care about him a lot.
Ezio
at a personal level. Yeah, really. I feel like they almost made the mistake of making that character too good.
Like honestly, Ezio is one of the best characters, one of them, not the only one of the best characters in game. Like, I know for a fact that there's many specific characters from other games that could be in this list, but I'm not gonna think of every game. So like, I want to say that Ezio is one of those favorite top game characters for sure. Like his story, like just like just me, like the fact that I had Ezio, like I saw him be born. He was a little baby. I saw him grow up. Then like he became more of like a man, and then after like a man, like he became old. I was like, oh man, like the feels, like this actually hurts me. I'm like,
The one thing I don't remember is, thinking back on it, I don't know if he's a Mary Sue. In other words, like, he does everything right. He's pretty much perfect. I just remembered at a personal level liking him. But on the other hand, like, I feel like I just remember the rosy parts of the story. I'm sure he made mistakes, because if he didn't, I wouldn't be that engaged with him. You know what I mean? If he was a flawless guy who just did everything right.
No, yeah,
that'd
like
be fucking boring.
He definitely made many mistakes. But it's like I like the idea that they put, like when you're like a young adult, you just, you know, you do what you want. Like you do this, you want attention, you do this. And that's the cool part about Ezio, that you see him grow up. Like you see him be like the most childish person to make mistakes. I just want to go fight this person. Like, you know, you see that from Ezio, and then you see how he learns from the mistakes, how he's like, no, I'm gonna leave this for the next person that comes in here, or like the stuff that he can't take back. And then like you see him all grown up like an old man, and I don't know, I think that's the cool part about him, the character development throughout the years that they show you. And
yeah,
I don't know, I am so attached to the character. One of the best characters in Assassin's Creed series ever. There's no other Assassin's Creed that can...
Like, that's something that even the game developers acknowledge, that not that they fucked up, but everybody became so attached to him that when they were trying to move away from him, nobody liked the characters after him. You know what I mean? Like, Assassin's Creed 3, is that the one in America?
Yeah, that's the one with Connor.
Yeah, people didn't like Connor. You know what I mean? So they're
he
like,
was a bit odd. He was just weird.
He was. And I personally liked him. Like, I could kind of see why he was the way he was.
I have no problem with that character, but yeah, like a lot of people didn't like him.
Because he wasn't Ezio, you know? And then Black Flag. People didn't really like the character because he was just an asshole. You know, he was a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't really... I don't know. People weren't that attached to him because he was just a pirate. He was an asshole. So they really struggled with creating another character that people like, I think, until pretty much Origins. Like, until that character.
I feel like the one from the French Revolution, I think that was a good character. Like, he actually kind of reminded me of Ezio a little bit because of how he just kind of did things for fun. And then, like, I don't think he, like, grew up to be more responsible. But, I think...
It was also only one game.
Yeah, it was just one game, and he was really playful. And I thought that character was fine. It reminded me a lot of Ezio, but not enough to be like, this is like, a fantastic character. The twins, I didn't like the brother, but I think it balanced them good because the sister was more like mature, like, oh, stop messing around, let's do this. And then the brother was like, haha, but I want to go do this.
Yeah, like I identified with the brother a lot, but like I thought they did a good job with them as well because there was the two of them and it played well, especially with them being siblings.
Yeah, I think the Connor and the guy from Black Flag, those two were kind of trash. And then from there on, I think the characters were about right. Like, they fit the, you know, everything.
I just like not having the perfect character. Like, not the Mary Sue. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I like conflicted ones. I like ones that make mistakes or do bad things sometimes just because they want to. You know what I mean? Like, the one from Origins, he's basically like... He's not necessarily just trying to make the world a better place. He's just pissed and wants to kill everybody. You know? In the process, he wants to make the world better, but he's just like, you know what, fuck these guys, they're all dead. You know, they killed my son, you're done. Yeah. I think Origin, it's more, she's a mercenary, or he, I guess, because you can choose. They're a mercenary, they're kind of there to better themselves to a degree, while trying to also help. I don't remember Athens or Sparta or whatever the story. I haven't played it yet, but it looks interesting because I like having those characters that are either the straight up bad guy, you know what I mean? Or a little bit more of a gray area.
Yeah.
Like the Division, if you could create a rogue operator, you know, that'd be like just blatantly rogue. That'd be awesome.
That'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
But that would require a lot of work. I think that's the whole.
Yeah,
thing.
you wouldn't be able to do it with the Division 2, and it would take a lot more in-depth RPG working. and I don't think it's necessarily worth it.
No, I don't think so.
At least not at this stage of the series.
Yeah.
You know what would be cool now that I think about it?
Porn
What
video
if-
games.
No, shut up. What if they do like the same thing they did for XCOM? Like, I'm not saying like that type of game like XCOM. No. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is like, see how on XCOM like some of your I guess soldiers have like a sword. So I was thinking, would that trigger the shit out of the viewers if like one of the skills is like a sword? So like it's like close range thing. So whenever like, for example, whenever you're like the shield, you obviously want to push, right? So what if like yes.
Oh, you
so
mean
what
in
if like in a division you have like the sword, but you're able to hold your weapons obviously, and you get close with the shotgun or something, but then to use your skill you have to be close, so you use your skill and it makes you kind of like a little bit immune to the bullets as you strike or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing an idea of how it would be.
Yeah, make like a melee build.
Yeah.
Like where you have to. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Do you think that would be like something the Division could have, or do you think people are gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?"
I mean, if you think about it, they already have shields. They already have AI who run in and try to melee. You have a melee that you can use. I think it would take a little bit more development because you would probably need to, have some sort of way to like push, kick, whatever, maybe build it out a little bit more. But I think it'd be really good and interesting. I'd be all for it personally.
Yeah.
As long as it's done right and not way overpowered, because I've noticed a lot of the Division is, especially in PvP, is very close range.
Mm-hmm.
That's why like SMGs are so good. One-shot sniper builds. Personally, I'm all for anything that breaks the meta, like anything that just completely revamps it. Without just fucking saying, okay, no, we're just gonna make snipers weaker. Well, no, let's add something like that where you can have a shield that you can't shoot him in the head or whatever. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That maybe you could have like swords, spears, go full, German with halberds. Have a medieval helmet on.
Yeah. I like the thing is I think it should play to its strong suits. I think working on the gunplay and making the gunplay as good as possible, which I think Division 2 does well.
I agree.
I think that's more of a what I think about the Division is I would prefer for them to have a focused idea and to just flesh it out as much as possible. Like I really enjoyed so far with Division 2 some of the like how it has 8 abilities, but it's got like 4 variations with 3 variations on each one, and instead of having like a fuck ton of abilities, it focuses on those, but it still even has problems. Like there's certain abilities that you can tell that need work and balancing.
Yeah.
Still, it's like.
But at the end game, there's the specializations that I think you could reasonably make one like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be dope. That is a better idea, I think, is having like the specialization, something to work towards. They've got to be awesome, in my opinion. I think I don't know what they have because we haven't gotten there yet, but I think it's like a grenade launcher, a 50 cal sniper, and something else.
Yeah, they're all right. I like them. I don't really know if you want me to spoil it, but
no. I wouldn't get to it. That game is
one of them's a giant dildo, and that creeps me out a little bit.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
That's
See,
cool.
they already have the model. They could just model it down into a sword. Oh no, a dildo is more fun. I think a dildo would be more fun than a sword.
Right? Oh my god, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Good times. Also, I remember it more from Saints Row 3 because it was all stuff. That was so much fun to just smack people with.
I think what got me with Grand Theft Auto was it took itself a bit more seriously, like not serious obviously, but a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So it just
that's what I love about Saints Row. It's just ridiculous.
It's so insane.
It's so great. I love it. It's like it's such a Dramatic.
You're on a nuclear missile. You disable the bomb. You fall down into the White House, and you're president.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. I love it. I love it.
Oh, it's such a
so ridiculous.
It's basically what would happen if I had to design a Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, that's what's so fun about it. It's just a power fantasy. It's like, what if I was just given all the power just to do everything and kill everybody?
Especially, I don't know if it was the last one, but no, the second to last one, where like you're in a simulation or whatever. It literally is. You become you're like God.
Oh yeah.
Period.
I remember that one. Yeah, that was fun. I prefer 3. I think 3 is the best one. Like 3 was like just ridiculous enough, but it was like still down to earth enough that it didn't feel like. I enjoy the overpowered stuff, but I like hopping in cars and shit and just doing regular people stuff too.
Yeah.
Kept it kind of grounded, which is really weird. You'd think you would want to go as unrealistic as possible.
You kind of need that balance, you know?
Yeah. I feel like it becomes more unrelatable the further away it gets from reality. So it's like, oh, this is really cool, but I can't relate to anybody.
Yeah.
Should we move on to the next topic?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
What was the one you picked, Dreg? The censoring videos?
Yeah.
Or what?
Censorship in video games.
Oh, censorships in video games. Okay.
Yeah.
Like specifically like nudity or what?
Just in general. For example, Rainbow Six a little bit ago now, they were going to censor all of their maps and everything for everybody, where they're going to remove, if I remember right, skulls, blood splatter, nudity, all that stuff. You know, because China, I feel like I sound like Trump there, didn't like them and didn't want them to be in the game.
Yeah. But I mean, China's very strict with that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's stupid, in my opinion.
Dumb.
I don't know how I feel about that, because, like, I can understand, but at the same time, I'm like, I mean, okay, here's my take. Most of the people that play certain games should be aware that it's a game and there's gonna be a lot of shit in it. And when I say shit, it's like either nudity or, you know, like racist stuff or like disturbing things, like just like disturbing things. And like, I think that most of the games are sold with the purpose of like, look, like they even say it, like when you put the game in, it gives you a screen saying this and that. And I think that there's a lot of people that don't understand or don't get it when they're like, we told you this is what it comes. Like, why would you, in my opinion, why would you censor something that you bought? Or sometimes they're not allowed to, like, I guess, like, some things come off bad. It's like, I think there's this, like, law, or I don't know what it is, like, it's like a rule that game developers cannot have, like, you can't kill little kids in games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's really rare to come across a game where there's a kid zombie or you kill a little kid. And I get it. Like, I honestly do get it. Like, why they don't allow it. But at the same time, I'm like, I mean, I want to feel the game realistic. Like, just because I kill, like, a little kid in there doesn't mean I'm going to go out and shoot a little boy. But I get that not everyone's the same. And I can see how that could, you know, give a bad, like a bad idea for people to do and stuff. So, yeah, like, I don't know, when it comes to those things, I want to say don't censor it. Yeah, that's my take, but I guess like to be able to, you choose if you want to censor it, like how on Rust where you can censor the nudity. Yeah, like I think that should be an option for the player to pick.
Unfortunately, I don't think China's like, oh, you can pick, because they're kind of like against that in general.
They're very authoritarian.
Yeah, I believe it's a dictatorship, if I'm not correct.
It's a elected I'm using air quotes as elected communist.
Gotcha.
So there's one party. So
yeah,
it's basically a dictatorship, and they just made it where the president. They used to have term limits like us. I think it was 2 terms of 8 years or something each. Yeah. They removed that, so he can be president for life.
Yeah, so it's kind of different. In my opinion, the reason why this is smart. So this is why I'm of two minds. In my opinion, one, the first mind, which is the person receiving the product, I'm like, well, I don't want it censored because you guys delivered a product that you wanted. If that's the things that you put in your product, then and I bought it, then that's what I want. But I do, on the other hand, from a business standpoint, understand completely, because the game's been out for 4 years now. 4 years. So they've already made all the money they can off of us Americans and everything. We've gotten what we wanted. We played the game and it's fun and everything. We've already received the product, and they're like, oh, okay, like, what if you could sell a product, right? And then you're like, okay, just remove this 1, 2, just remove these 4 things, and you could sell, 50% of what you've already sold. You could sell another 50% of what you already sold, and you'll get a ton of money and stuff. So it's like, I understand why they're gonna do it, and everybody who's received the product, as long as it's not affecting the gameplay, it's not. Most people probably wouldn't even realize it.
Yeah, like, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. My biggest issue with, like, for that specific example is it's kneeling to China.
Yeah, exactly.
When it's an authoritarian power like that, I'm not about it.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
And especially for just such stupid shit. You're going around, killing people in the video game.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's a simulation or whatever. But whatever. Like, you don't like a little neon sign of a stripper. Like, come on, dude.
Yep. It's ridiculous.
But then there's other things like Germany. It used to be where Nazi symbols were not allowed in any video games or anything. Mm-hmm. So the swastika, for example, if you had Wolfenstein, all the swastikas. I never played it, so I don't know if they were there normally, but they didn't have them. They had that, like, other symbols. Strategy games, a lot of times they'd use the Iron Cross, which is sort of like or Teutonic Cross. It's their other more Germany's heritage symbol, I guess you could say. Which recently, last year, they actually lifted that. But it's interesting, you know what I mean? And then I think the big issue there is, then do you make it so one video game version, like, for example, Hearts of Iron, it's a World War II grand strategy game. When you play Germany, obviously you're Nazi Germany, you know what I mean? So the swastika should be there. So do you make a game with the swastika on the flag for the rest of the world, and then one in Germany without it, or do you just make one without it?
Yeah, and especially with Siege, I think it's like, if it's one game and it's a big game that's doing it, like, how long before every game just starts being like, okay, we gotta censor our game now because Siege did it, they can do it. As long as we sell some copies, we can censor it in a year. Nobody will care. Yeah,
and then there's, I forget, it's one of the social media things. They recently banned porn on it.
Oh, Tumblr! I know this because I used it for porn, so.
Yeah, because it was, long story short, it was bought by a foreign company, and they decided to ban porn so that they could sell it in, I think it was India.
Everyone moved to Twitter, which is great.
Yep. And now Tumblr lost over 1 million users.
I mean, I stopped using it. Like, the only way I use it is just to put my art, and that's it. Like, I have no interest because I was there for the porn,
Exactly.
And they took away the porn. Okay, you can't do that. So I moved all my shit to Twitter. Okay, Twitter has good porn. Okay, let me tell you, it's all about Twitter.
Let me tell you guys, if you want porn, you go to Twitter.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's where you go, dude. Like, they don't censor, like, Twitter is cool with everything. Twitter's like, you want to see some tits? Here you are. You want to see some tits with dicks? Here you are. Yep. Everything's there. Okay?
That's great.
It is great. And it's great.
But yeah, that's what Twitter right now is, what Tumblr was without the the censorship and everything. See, and that's the thing, is censorship can sometimes go wrong, especially if you do something that affects the core of the entire like product. It's like that's what Tumblr happened. Tumblr was like, okay, we'll just censor porn. We'll still keep people, and it's like, nope, you lost a fuck ton of people because that's what people were primarily using it for. But when you're bought by a foreign company, what can you do? It's like they literally own you now. You literally have to do what they say.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like it, which is shit.
And it's sort of, it comes down to that censorship thing. Like, how far do you want to censor things? Like, and another example of this is back to Assassin's Creed Origins, where you go around and everybody's wearing clothes. This was Egypt in, I forget, 3000 BC?
Yeah.
Somewhere on there.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, women didn't have clothes on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it's like this kind of like the same thing, but not really. Like on Fallout 3, when you get to the first town, which is like has like the nuclear bomb or something.
Megaton.
Yeah, that place. I don't remember who told me. I think my brother told me. I'm not like really sure about this, but apparently the game in Japan, you don't have that option if you wanna do the quest of disarming the bomb or making it explode. From my knowledge, apparently over there you don't have that option, or they took off that option or something.
Well, that would make sense. I mean, Japan would probably be pretty sensitive about nuclear explosions.
Yeah, it makes sense. But like those things, I'm like, I wonder if those things are really necessary. Because like, there's a lot of things that are going on with like Hispanic people or like Mexican people, and if there's a game that this is the story and this is how it goes. Sadly, this is like. Mexicans go through this, black people, Asian, like all that. If this is how things were and this is how you want to tell the story based on, how things had happened, in my opinion, in my eyes, I think that should be allowed. Like, I don't see why there should be a difference. Because it's history or it passed or like things change. But I don't know, like, I don't know how I don't feel like it's necessary to take off certain things just to not offend certain audience. So,
yeah,
that's just my opinion when it comes to stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of books, there's a lot of, like, shows, there's a lot of things that have, like, slavery back in the days. And, I mean, I'm like, okay, they're showing me how things used to be. Like, I want to see how things used to be so we don't go back to those times.
Yeah, and kind of like the example of nuking Megaton. Like, if you don't want to do it, then don't fucking do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a simple choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, and that's in that way, censorship. Yeah, it's a choice whether you blow it up or not. Some censorship is more forced for sure, but yeah, it's all about being able, with these companies, it's all about being able to get the product out to the most amount of people.
Yeah, so, and at the end of the day, I don't really blame the company. Like with Rainbow Six Siege, if they wanted to make those censorship things, I don't like it, but I understand it. Like, absolutely. How many more copies would they be able to sell in China?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And why would they want to split their player base between... Because even little stuff like that, it makes a difference when it's that competitive a game. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
If you start removing, like, the gambling machines, right? So for some people, they have a gambling machine there, and some people, they don't. That's a sight line. Like...
Yeah.
It's stupid. So... I just think that... I understand it. I wish that... And this is kind of a shot at China and the other more governments, people would grow the fuck up, and be adults about it. Like, I get it with China, they're authoritarian, they are, so they don't want people necessarily coming into contact with things that sort of would shift their viewpoint. I get it.
You don't want people
that
thinking
stuff doesn't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I understand it. I don't. Obviously, I'm an American. I don't like it, but that's really, to me, I don't see that as being the way you would do that.
I think the thing about censorship is when it comes to not being a company, it's just about the way. It's all about not like morals, but just the way that we kind of work with other countries. It's like when we're just people, this thing will literally not affect anything. It won't affect the gameplay or anything like that. It's just based off of, oh well, you're doing this so that somebody else can be happy.
Yeah, or like Germany with the Nazi symbol. Like,
yeah,
okay, fair. You had a little bit of a boo-boo there. We get it. Like, you kind of want to move on from that.
Yeah.
But just completely, and I'm glad they changed it, but completely just banning it, not seeing it, pretending like la la la, it's Hitler, shave his mustache in the video game. Like, that's not really the best way to remember our lessons.
Yeah.
You know? Like, a lot of that censorship kind of leads into stuff with today and this might get controversial, so buckle up, but the Civil War. What was the cause of the Civil War? It's obviously slavery. It just is. If you think otherwise, you're wrong, because the documents specifically said slavery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's been because of censorship and, I'll say, creative editing with a lot of things. They made it where, oh no, it was about states' rights. Well, yeah, but it was the states' right to own fucking slaves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't like censorship like that. I if a company wants to do it like, Grand Theft Auto, right? They say, look, we love blowing up, we love shooting people in the face, but we just don't want kids in the game. That's a little too far for us. 100% okay with that. Good on you. You're a better man than I am. Personally, I'd love to go through shooting kids. Don't take that out of context. But like, I get it, and I wouldn't really, like, whatever. But when it's a government coming in and saying, no, you can't do whatever, then it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, you're doing it for the company. It's not like a creative vision or anything that's being altered. It's like, oh, this country didn't want this, or these people didn't want this. Yeah,
like if, Wolfenstein, if they want to shave Hitler's mustache because he looks funny without it. You're right, he does. Do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
censorship is very delicate. It's mostly because it's just based off of morals and everything.
Yeah, or like Assassin's Creed Origin. I get it. You don't want kids flailing everywhere because that obviously ups the rating or whatever.
Yeah.
It'll probably make it mature or whatever.
Yep.
Can't sell as many. I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's when it makes sense. When it's censorship because like they want it to be censored.
Yeah.
Then that's when it makes sense and everything.
Yeah, all right, I'm content with my rant. Sorry.
That's good. I like that.
Long story short, fuck governments. Okay.
Long story short, I want to see some dicks out there.
Yeah, boobs.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Boobs and skulls.
We need more games with just nudity all the time.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a little surprised it's not more common.
It's because now even Steam is like cracking down on nudity. It's like you can't. And Steam is one of the last like thresholds for nudity games and stuff. Other than Steam, it's gonna just be websites.
Yeah, and I honestly don't understand it. Like adults, especially nowadays, you know what I mean? Adults, we're the gaming generation. I'm a damn near 30-year-old sitting on my ass talking about censorship in video games and Assassin's Creed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised there's not more games like that directed towards adults that aren't just stupid gory.
Yeah. I feel like most of the ones that are mature that are for adults are more in the dialogue and the characters and stuff though. It's
like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, or like The Last of Us. It's more about like this subject matter. It's not as much about what you're showing. It's more about like what this means.
Yeah.
That's more adult than, which I appreciate. I think that going more adult with dialogue and the subject matter is more mature than even just showing nudity or anything or gore or whatever you want to. It's like more interesting.
The content is really what it comes down to. But
exactly.
Still, when I walk into, a strip club in Grand Theft Auto, I want to see tits.
Yeah,
thankfully I can do that.
Yeah, exactly. There's strip clubs. Oh man, Grand Theft Auto 6 will definitely be interesting. See what they do about it. I think the cool thing about like Grand Theft Auto, these big sandbox games, are just how pretty they get. Like I can't even imagine what Grand Theft Auto 6 or 7 is going to look like eventually.
Or Anthem. Anthem is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, I get it. It had its issues on launch, but oh my god, is it fucking gorgeous?
I didn't like Anthem. Like, it looks really pretty. Don't get me wrong. Like, I agree on that. But it was not for me. Like, it's not enough for me to be like, oh my gosh, I need to play it. Cause it legit, it's like another game, like, Destiny. It said like another Destiny, so I was like, okay, like I get it.
I didn't play Destiny, but I like what I saw better than with Destiny, personally.
Yeah.
But I'm still hopeful for the game that they're gonna correct their issues in time.
Yeah, hopefully.
But yeah.
Okay, well, that's legit almost an hour.
Look.
Yeah, that's pretty close, huh?
Yeah.
Look at my dick.
No, it's censored. It's censored. I'll throw money at the table like I am.
Yeah, why are you throwing money up in the air? I don't even understand that. Because that's what you do with Assassin's Creed. You just throw money at it.
Yes.
Shut up and take my money.
Like so legit. Shut up and take my money.
You look pretty smug about it. You look like you're just going to catch it in your hands again. That's right. Look like you're throwing it at everybody.
Yeah, I did this ride really fast, so like I didn't even finish coloring Drake's dick.
Oh, well, that's a good thing it's censored, I guess.
Yeah.
We censored it because we wanted to, not because Twitch makes us, okay? Let's just get
I don't want all of you seeing my dick. My dick is for special people.
I hate how his voice fits that fucking thing. It fits him. It fits him great. Like, I just see that character movements on. Where's my fan art? Oh, well, I'll put it next time, I promise.
Yeah.
Dude, oh man, I was thinking about it when this went up, I was like, you know what you could do? You could put the thumbnail art inside the your subscriber thing.
Yeah.
Because you're drawing the art and everything, and then that's a good way to have it uncensored. And it gives
there's a lot of things I want to do for this thing, like this podcast, but I'm gonna wait till we have more viewers, because like more viewers and followers, because there's no point of me doing it now if there's not enough.
So long story short, fuckers, try to get people watching us so we can talk about my dick as a family.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Next time on a topic, that's my goal.
Okay. What's our outro? I forgot.
Remember, we go around the table.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I forgot what we said last time, so we'll just make it up.
Okay. Thank you guys for watching. This is Tomoyo X. Oh no, wait, I'm no longer X3 Live. Fuck! Okay, thank you guys for watching. No, something. What the fuck? I don't know. Yeah, just fuck it. Just what the fuck is going on? I don't know. Just
what the fuck.
This is the podcast of what the fuck. So yeah, that's
we'll get an outro eventually.
And I'm Draktor!
Yeah.
I love you all!
Oh, he loves you now. Okay, that's nice. Bye.
Bye-bye.